It's an NFC Championship Game of the Week as the Carolina Panthers and Seattle Seahawks meet on the road to Super Bowl 40.
Smith, 45. Smith, 50. Touchdown, Seahawks! Jeremy Stevens with the catch. Seattle can do no wrong in this game.
The Carolina Panthers were good enough to win on the road against New York and Chicago in the playoffs. But in Seattle, the Panthers' road ended. Football's favorite one-man show, Steve Smith, was left on stage with no lines to speak. The Seahawks shut him up and shut him down, allowing him just 5 catches for 33 yards. Seattle earned the first Super Bowl berth in their 30-year history by dismantling the road-weary Panthers 34-14. The loyal and loud Seahawk fans call themselves the 12th man. But 11 proved more than enough for Seattle in a lopsided NFC Championship game.
In 1984, the Seahawks retired the number 12 and dedicated it to their loyal fans in the Pacific Northwest. Each week, Seattle hoists the 12th-man banner, while also guarding it from five-finger discounts.
Jim goes down every Sunday, has a secure detail with him. It's a really secure process to make sure that nobody touches the flag, nothing happens to it. He'll come up the freight elevator on the east side of the building. He'll come out to the main upper concourse here, walk it over, then we put it onto the masthead here and get it all ready, prepared to go.
Seattle's mission, if they chose to accept it, was to beat the Panthers in the NFC Championship and make it to their first Super Bowl. To avoid self-destructing, they needed league MVP Shaun Alexander to recover from last week's concussion and for quarterback Matt Hasselbeck to stay away from turnovers. Seattle had gone 3 decades without a home championship game. And the wait was finally over. Pre-game looked like a Hollywood action flick, but the Seahawks were looking for a fairy tale ending.
Hey, everything you daydreamed about as a kid was to be in this game, right here, right now. We're gonna win it up front, both sides of the ball. Let's go, line 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's give them what they want. For 60 minutes, look at your brother in the eye and believe we can get it done. Believe we can get it done. Ride or die. Ride or die. Ride on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Carolina wasn't riding. They were limping. With running backs Stephen Davis and Deshaun Foster both injured, the Panthers called on understudy Nick Goings. But the leading man in the postseason was wide receiver Steve Smith, who piled up 340 total yards in 2 playoff games, including 218 yards receiving against the Bears.
I don't know why they don't like me. I mean, I just make plays, that's all. I don't know why they don't like me. I'm a good-looking dude. Got a beautiful family. Just don't know why, man. I ain't do nothing wrong. Not yet, anyway.
It's a pleasure. Welcome to Seattle, my friend. It's a pleasure, sir.
Jerry,
A nice pleasure. Very nice.
Jerry,
Very much of a pleasure.
Yeah.
Great.
I consider you, so.
We got Nordstrom's. Y'all got Kmart, Walmart. There's nothing wrong with that. It's our house.
It's our third home game in the playoffs. No matter where we go, it's a home game. So we finna take this over like we took the rest of them over. All this hollering don't mean nothing. It's our house.
The Seahawks were perched on the doorstep of franchise history and had the look of a team that was peaking at the right time. With kickoff approaching, it was time for the 12th man ceremony.
I think everybody's about ready for some football action right now.
For 30 years, the Seahawks had been seeking the promised land. It was time for the faithful to get their reward.
The fans will not sit down and they will not be quiet for the next 3 hours. It is unspeakably loud here in Seattle, as we have heard that it would be. I'll tell you, if it could be any louder in here, I don't see how. And the players love it.
To combat the noise, the Panthers began the game with a conservative approach, running the ball with number 37, Nick Goings. But on the first 2 drives, Carolina's third-string back found little success against Seattle's front 4.
The turn, the hand to Goings, going straight ahead, and he's going nowhere. As the Seahawks defenders slant right into the hole, push the offensive lineman away, make the tackle on Goings for no gain.
There was nowhere for Nick Goings to run. I mean, you bring Herschel Walker, you bring any back you want to out there, and he would have lost a yard.
That F-bomb, they blew it up. Huh? They blew up the F-bomb.
Yeah.
They blitzed right into it.
Now, Babs, good job carrying that true good squeeze over here. So we ended up with the double 189, and you squeeze that.
Heading into the game, it was no secret that the best way to beat Carolina was to shut down Steve Smith. Because of the Panthers' depleted backfield, Seattle believed it could stop the run with its front 4. That allowed the Seahawks to drop 7 and even 8 men into coverage to prevent big plays in the passing game. Because of the extra defenders, Seattle had the option of double and even triple teaming Smith if necessary. It also enabled the Seahawks corners to play press coverage. That took away the slip screen and the quick hitch, 2 of Carolina's staple plays for Smith. Seattle also jammed Smith at the line, which prevented clean releases and disrupted the timing of his routes.
What's Smitty doing?
What? Jammed up.
Hey, be alert if 89s ever ends up over there. Back to the 3 receiver side. Okay, so you always got to be alert for that. Okay?
Ain't throw to him yet.
No, they're going to try to. He's going to start bitching in a minute, so.
The Seahawks' game plan had created the desired effect. Frustration had already begun to set in on the Panthers' sideline. Every player reacts differently to pressure. Some let their emotions get the better of them. Others stay cool. Matt Hasselbeck proved he could handle the heat.
4 down lineman for Carolina. Play fake. Matt's got to get rid of it. Steps inside the rush. Sidearms it. He has a catch. Jeremy Stevens across the 45 to the 47-yard line. And Matt Hasselbeck, as he did a week ago, showing under pressure there's none better.
No question about it, Steve. He comes out on the rollout to the left. Big Julius Peppers, of all people, you don't want to see him one-on-one. But Matt eludes him with some good footwork, steps up inside, hits his big tight end, Jeremy Stevens, who comes back to help him out for another Seahawks first down.
But Seattle's success was short-lived. The promising drive was eventually derailed by the Panthers' blitz.
Here comes a blitz as Hasselbeck retreats. Hasselbeck will be dropped at the 20-yard line. Dan Morgan got to him and wrapped his arms around Hasselbeck's waist. and got him on the turf.
Mac, what we're talking about doing is reading that. Reading it. We'll reach there. You just get ready to go outside, and Walter will get up the first linebacker. If the free safety comes down like he did, take the free safety over. You know what I'm saying?
Now listen, a lot of boots early. Okay? Boot out of 12, boot out of 22, boot it to his left. Yes.
Hey,
Jim, short yardage. We're talking about going 92 lead from you, but Ryan, you go the line to the left. We're coming to you. Okay?
Despite injuries to several receivers, Mike Holmgren's offense still gained the most yards in the NFC. His knack for getting production from unlikely sources again came in handy.
Partner, number 15 is in the game. Seneca Wallace, the backup quarterback. Seattle was going to have some plays in for him, and now Seneca comes out wide to the left side. Matt's looking, pump fake. Now he's going to let it fly. That's Seneca Wallace, what a great catch! A stop-and-go pattern, and Seneca Wallace beats Kenny Lucas and makes a great over-the-shoulder catch.
Great throw by Matt Hasselbeck to the outside boundary, and you just don't expect a quarterback to go up and make that type of catch against a quarterback like Kenny Lucas, but he is not an ordinary quarterback, Seneca Wallace.
He had just come in for that play, so that was obviously something scripted that they had planned prior to the game, and it worked.
Holmgren's multi-dimensional offense can strike from anywhere with anyone. One play later, Seattle got a boost from another overlooked receiver.
1st and 10 at Carolina 17. Matthew play fake. Looks down the middle of the field. Touchdown Seahawks! Jeremy Stevens with the catch. 5 yards deep in the end zone. A 17-yard dart. Jeremy Stevens has been kind of the man left out of the offense the last few weeks. He was not left out there, and he was wide open.
First down, Seattle 5, Panthers 0. Total yards, Seattle 97, Panthers 4. Blown coverages, Panthers 1, Seattle none.
Let me get 6. Run game shut down. Passing game, they gonna force feed them. You know that.
On its next possession, Carolina faced a key 3rd down. Desperate to generate offense and appease their star receiver, there was little doubt who would get the ball.
2 possessions, 2 3 and outs for the Panthers, who yet to look to number 89, but Eugene, I get the feeling that's about to change.
Drops back, stumbles, does the all. Now he steps up, throws to the middle of the field. It's intercepted to Tupu. He's inside the 30, to the 25 on the far right side of the field. Knocked down at the 20-yard line. Lofa to Tupu comes up big when he has to. Seattle has it 1st and 10 deep in Carolina territory.
A case of being myopic as Jake was looking for Steve Smith the whole way, and so were about 4 or 5 Seahawks who converged almost a cocoon around Steve Smith who was not open. It's just not been a good start. It is almost like they're in a fog.
Last game we played them on that lead open. We got to get off those blocks now. I'm coming. Okay?
After Tupu's interception, the Seahawks took possession deep in Panthers territory. In danger of falling behind by 2 touchdowns, Carolina held its ground and kept the league's most efficient red zone offense out of the end zone.
Back. Now he starts to run. He's at the 10. He is tackled out of bounds by Brenson Buckner at the 6-yard line. Somehow the Panthers finally held.
Here's the kick by Josh Brown from 24 yards out. It's up and it's good. The field goal by Josh Brown. Up and through.
Great job of coming back and stopping that man. I was going to try to blow his ass up. Knockout. Yeah.
That's stuffing on my play. How the end gonna stop the screen?
Hey, Peppers just took it all over. That boy sweet. He is. He got out to get fast.
Seattle knew it had missed an opportunity to break the game open. The Panthers had to find a way to score before the NFC Championship turned into a rout. In the playoffs, bad can become worse with breakneck speed. Just ask the Panthers.
Seattle on top, 10-0, 2:23 to play in the first. The Seahawks defense has been spectacular thus far. The pitch to Goings. He's coming to the right side, jumps over a man, and then is blasted. He is knocked to the turf big time.
Went head-to-head there and just got splattered.
I wasn't sure who hit who, but I saw Nick Goings was the last one to get up, and he was groggy when he did.
He's a little shaky as they're getting him off toward the far sideline. Got a trainer on each elbow as they walk Nick Goings off.
That's a bad sign. 5 carries, only 2 yards for Nick Goings. That's how tough the running has been. Well, Panthers down to their 4th string running back, Jamal Robertson, to carry the ball.
4th stringers don't strike fear into opponents, nor instill confidence in teammates. The Panthers would have to pass, and everyone knew it.
Smith is in the slot right. Deloma's going to throw again. Drops back 5. Looks to the middle of the field. Dumps it off. Ball is picked up. Marquand Manuel at the 50. Comes back to 45 to 40. He's got a convoy. To 25. To 20. Knocked out of bounds at the 17-yard line. The stands are actually shaking right now from the fans, and they have picked off Jake Delhomme for the 2nd time in the first quarter.
Right up for grabs, and Marquand Manuel had the easiest catch he'll ever have in his life.
There was pressure from Seattle, but that pass had no steam on it and no chance of getting anywhere near a receiver.
That ball lofted up, thrown off his back foot. It never had a chance.
Exactly what I was talking about, Steve. How is Jake Delhomme going to bounce back from that first interception?
Jake Delhomme's grim totals: 0 completions, 2 interceptions.
It's a nightmare start to this game. The first quarter could not have gone worse.
In the NFL, Mike Holmgren knows that January knows no mercy.
Put your foot on the back of their necks and hold them down for the rest of the game. Turn the hand to Sean. This time he's going wide left. Got some running room. Gets inside the 15. Down to 10. Cuts back. Inside the 5. Down to the 3-yard line.
First and goal for Seattle. Seahawks knocking at the door.
It was almost like it developed in slow motion. Alexander never ran full speed, but he ends up inside the 2, almost to the 1.
Tackling Sean Alexander is never easy, but this year at the goal line, it has been all but impossible.
To turn the hand to Sean. He pushes ahead. Touchdown Seahawks! Sean Alexander from 1 yard out over his left guard. The Pro Bowler and All-Pro Steve Hutchinson.
And the guy that missed him and sniped up there in the hole was the old Seahawk, Kenny Lucas. Had a chance to maybe make the stop right at the line of scrimmage, but Sean just brushed him off like a little DB that he is and got it into the end zone for the touchdown.
When you got a guy who set a league record with touchdowns, 28 this year, there's not a lot of strategy involved.
And even less the Panthers' defense could do about it.
And the Seahawks right now, and the 12th man, going to make Carolina wish they had stayed home this weekend.
Seattle 17, Carolina Panthers nothing. The Panthers shell-shocked, trying to wake up in Seattle.
The Panthers were falling apart. Seattle seemed to have an answer for everything.
And just be alert. If it's 18, the only thing they might do is just take them deep on you one time, take a shot, okay? That's been their offense, okay? Because we're doing a good job of rolling up and doing the things that we got to do to take the big plays away. Okay, so he's going to come back and just take a shot every now and then on win 18. We need to come.
Panthers have only gained 15 yards the entire game. 1 first down today. That was by penalty.
Seattle was generating pressure relentlessly. The 12th man was a factor, but it was more than noise that was doing in the Panthers.
Delhomme drops back. He's under pressure. He scrambles. He's in. He's dropped. He is sacked out near midfield by Rocky Bernard.
Rocky Bernard lines up at left end in the 3-man line, and he beats the right tackle, Jordan Gross, to the quarterback as he had nowhere to go with the football.
Using only 3 down linemen allowed the Seahawks to employ defenders elsewhere, most notably around Steve Smith.
That ball was just a little too high and never gave Steve the chance and do something. But look how many people are around the ball with Steve. There's 4 guys over there getting ready to tackle Steve Smith.
Seattle wasn't going to let Steve Smith beat them. In fact, the Seahawk defense barely let him touch the ball.
Fake to the left, throw to the right, off Steve Smith's head and out of bounds, incomplete.
I think it may have actually hit the linebacker who was coming over in coverage before Smith could even get to it, D.D. Lewis, and the Seahawks had done their homework. They snuffed that play out immediately.
The Panthers had few options beyond Steve Smith, so Delhomme kept firing, and frustration kept mounting.
So hard to change the momentum of an athletic contest in the contest. But that's what the Panthers have to do somehow.
There's no vision there because if I try to throw it there, I'm sacked.
Hey, man, we'll handle anything they want. They get one play, just don't let them in the end zone, okay? That's it. Keep going.
The game was not a lost cause. Not yet.
Panthers trying to get on the board somehow, some way.
That meant turning to one man.
Look who's back there, number 89. You want to make sure you get good coverage and good hang time on this punt to allow your coverage to get down the field for number 89.
A line drive off the side of his foot. Steve Smith catches it at the 40. Here he comes. Scobie's chasing him. He gets away. He's across midfield down to the 40. A flag is down. Tom Ruin tries to come back and make a play, but no. But a flag is down, and I've got to believe that this is going to come back.
That's too bad. That's a waste.
A bad kick by Tom Ruin gives Steve Smith an open alley, and he just shot through there like a laser.
Talk about a game-changing player, but it may not hold up.
I think Vinny Churchill, one of the backup linebackers, is going to get called. Let's see, it is going to come back.
Actually, the officials picked up the flag. The touchdown stood.
Holy smoke, no flag. I think Mike Holmgren's going to want an explanation.
Wow. What do you know? You never see that. Ed Hukuli, the referee, was about ready to tell us the foul, and then he says there's no foul. The Seattle crowd has just seen on the replay board what they think is a block in the back on Vinny Churchill.
But it's a soft block in the back. It's almost like a screen block in the back.
A penalty is a penalty, but we'll take it.
But there we go. We'll pick that one up, and we'll go ahead and take that.
Yeah.
The merits of the officials' ruling can be debated. Steve Smith's talent cannot. He had almost single-handedly kept the game competitive.
You're doing it so many different ways, baby.
Hey, dang, I know. That's how I got in the lead. I got to finish it like that.
The ref doesn't, his flags are his pop. They got to try to keep the game close.
Mike Holmgren's displeasure with the call was clear, but so was his team's superiority. So the Seahawks ended the half with an elegant but simple statement. They were the better team.
This West Coast offense, everything about it, from the tempo, the alignment, the talent that's in it, has been a bad matchup so far for this Panther defense.
Here comes the blitz. Matt's going to throw. Looks deep. Now throws up the right side. Has a man D-Jack out by the 40-yard line.
Seattle played stronger, faster, better.
Oh dear. Seattle driving yet again.
The drive yielded more than a field goal. It crystallized the Seahawks' character. This was their game, their time, their title.
It was a great drive by this offense of the Seahawks to move that ball down the football field after that controversial punt return. I really like the way they came back on that drive, showing great resiliency, great character, and putting 3 points on the board to extend that lead back to 13 points.
It's been all Seattle, but finally halftime has arrived. Maybe the Panthers could get into the locker room and regroup. Seattle's played great. The Panthers have not.
Carolina had 30 minutes to fix that and fulfill their dream.
Now listen, we're 30 minutes away, you understand? We had one mistake, and other than that, we're playing perfect.
The Pacific Northwest may be known for grunge, but with the Seahawks only 1/2 away from a Super Bowl berth, that was about to change. Mike Holmgren started the third quarter by spreading the ball between 7 different players. The Seahawks chipped away at the clock, marching into Carolina territory.
Dumps it off into the left flat, has Ingram, who pushes forward. I-backs on 2nd and 1. Sean this time stretches the defense. Now he cuts back inside. Got a running lane inside the 40. Sean again to the right side. Has a lane across the 30. Kicks it outside. Inside the 25. The Seahawks just keep moving the sticks. Another first down.
They are gashing them right now.
Once in the red zone, the NFC's top-ranked passer turned to his favorite target.
Pump fake by Matthew. He's throwing to the end zone. He's got DJ who makes a move. Touchdown Seahawks! Darrell Jackson from 20 yards out leaps into the stands in the south end zone. A great pump fake by Matt Hasselbeck and a terrific move by DJ. The Seahawks kept it going.
They went with the double move that time. The hitch and go to DJ on the outside against Gamble. Gamble bit on the fake. DJ went up the right sideline, and he gets into the end zone for the touchdown.
The Seahawks fans at Quest Field are getting a treat. Their offense is operating at light speed right now against Carolina.
If we go nickel, you're going to go, okay? So if we go nickel, you keep low foul. If we go base, low will come in. But you be the Mike and nickel, so listen to me, okay? Hey, what they're doing, they lined up, they motion the wire cross. Okay, we got box post. 89's in the slot. Shallow, it's the same thing they're running. Shallow cross, okay?
Trailing by 20 points, the Panthers knew what was at stake. After Seattle's latest score, the NFC Championship was slowly slipping away.
Dalome's going to throw on first down. He's in trouble. He's swarmed under. Jake Delhomme is wrapped up. Jake Delhomme goes down. Rocky Bernard on the first defensive play of the third quarter. That, by my count, is his 3rd sack of the day as he just drills Jake Delhomme.
These Seattle Seahawks, my goodness, they're absolutely everywhere.
Seattle pressured Jake Delhomme, and the Panthers went 3 and out on their first possession of the half.
So, hey, who's who now? He's down. Who's who? What about Zebra?
Unsure of himself, Hasselbeck succeeded by following the Seahawks' simple rule. When in doubt, give the ball to Sean Alexander.
Straight ahead. Now he comes back to the left. Got some running room. Gets a block from Matthew. Slides back inside to Sean and gets it out to almost the 40-yard line. Where did that come from?
Unbelievable run.
The league's leading rusher wasn't the only one able to move the ball with his feet.
Matt Hasselbeck, you got to treat him like Michael Vick. I'm telling you, that cat can absolutely run.
Although the NFL's highest scoring offense failed to add any points, they were winning the battle for field position.
Trying to have a spy guy on him, because all he's doing, whoever's the one technique, if you go inside, he step B gap. If you go outside, he step A gap. It's the three-hole thing over there.
What we're going to do on that 20 lead now is we're going to turn it back. That's all he's doing. We're going to turn it back. He's ever on that open side. He's going to turn it back, all right? Mike linebacker's going to be there. Now they have another backside guy forward as well. Okay?
On the next series, Carolina was faced with a task that seemed insurmountable, starting a drive from their own 1-yard line.
It might as well be like 1,000 yards if we have to get on there.
What made things more difficult was Carolina's close proximity to a boisterous contingent of the 12th man.
Down in that south end zone is really, really loud because it's closed in over there. So it's going to be hard to hear, and these fans know it, and they're going after it.
In 2005, Seattle's fans helped cause the most false starts in the NFL, and the Panthers' Travell Wharton committed yet another one.
Penalty markers fly, and the Panthers had a false start.
That's just going to fire up this Quest Field crowd that much more.
Energized by their crowd, the Seahawks stuffed Carolina's 4th-string running back.
This is one dominating performance by the Seattle Seahawks. We yielded only, 3 yards?
On the Panthers' following possession, they once again found themselves pinned deep in their own territory.
You can win the game from here, but you got to have one of the most dramatic reversals ever. Need some good things to start happening to you.
We need something from this offense.
Panthers have not been able to get the ball into Steve Smith's hands.
All game long, Seattle's defense smothered Steve Smith, forcing Carolina to utilize other weapons.
Ricky Prohl over the middle. Prohl to the 20. Prohl to the 23-yard line. Backs up. Plants. Looking over the middle. Flips it to Jamal Robertson. Caught 30. Jamal has got speed. 35-40. 44-yard line and out of bounds far sideline. 5th first down for the Panthers today. This drive started at the 9. It's out to the 46.
For the first time in the second half, the Panthers had reached Seahawks territory. But Carolina's comeback hopes were short-lived.
Delhomme going to throw. Got time. Throws. Picked off at the 30-yard line by the Seahawks Bullware. Here he comes back upfield. Trying to get away. Out to the 40-yard line is Michael Bullware. And Jake Delhomme is the man who makes the tackle.
That ball was just errantly thrown.
And when it's bad, it's bad.
For the Panthers, the NFC title game had become a nightmare, while for the Seahawks, it was slowly becoming a dream come true.
What I'm talking about, baby. Going to the Super Bowl, baby. There you go. You got to respect this, baby. What's up, Pete? Riley, what's up, baby?
The highs are so high in this game, but the lows are so low, and the Panthers getting tattooed here in Seattle as we start the 4th.
The Seattle Seahawks were just 15 minutes away from rewriting their tortured history. But before they buried the ghost of Brian Bosworth and 3 decades of futility, those same old Seahawks reared their sorry head.
Has D-Jack. He's got it across the field. Peppers is chasing him. He's losing ground. D-Jack, where in the world are you going, buddy? Coach Hartman just stood on the sidelines and looked and said, holy smoke, what just happened?
You can't give up that much ground on the play, D-Jack. At least you kept the first down. Where are you going? But it almost looked like Jim Marshall running the wrong way after he picked up a fumble.
That's right.
The Seahawks were going backwards, but the Panthers were going nowhere against the raucous 12th man.
The clock keeps moving, and this is as loud as the Kingdom ever was. Ever.
On the field, it was louder than a jet engine, but Steve Smith was still grounded.
Well, Jake Delhomme doesn't have anywhere to throw the football down the field. He's trying to throw the ball down the field, but there's just no openings.
Their corners have done a great job of not only jamming, but getting back in the throwing lanes that it's hard to throw the ball.
Jake really couldn't get his arm forward. He got hit in the ribs as he let that ball go.
That's Bryce Fisher.
But he was in his face.
While Delhomme was getting clocked, all of Seattle was watching the clock.
10:48 to play in the game. That's all the time that stands between the Seahawks and the Super Bowl.
The Seahawks and their fans had waited 30 years for this moment. There was no way the Carolina Panthers were going to spoil it.
Play fake. He looks downfield. Still has time. Throws to the middle. Has a catch. Jeremy Stevens. His big tight end started out catching the ball at the beginning of this football game, and he's still doing it. A gain of 12 and another first down.
Milking time, the NFL's best offensive line chewed through Carolina on one last drive towards Detroit.
And you remember the great tempo the Seahawks had earlier? Now it's slow down time. Take all the time you can off the clock. Rolls. He throws to Ryan Hannum in the near flat. Ryan run out of bounds and thrown down out of bounds. Here comes the flag for 15 yards.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Defense number 97. 15 yards, first down.
Sean gets it, going left, cuts inside, makes a man miss. Down to the 6-yard line is Sean Alexander.
On the 8th play, the league's MVP motored in for another touchdown and punched Seattle's ticket to the Motor City.
Straight ahead, touchdown Seahawks! Sean Alexander from 1 yard out. His second touchdown of the day. And now we can start thinking about a celebration.
Absolutely dominating performance.
Great job! Great job! Great job! Great job! Put the money in the bag.
And if you thought it wasn't over before, that's the end right there. Now it's just a matter of how long these final 6 minutes of game clock take.
The Seattle Seahawks had an appointment with history. After 3 decades of frustration, their day had finally come.
Look at the flashbulbs. They're going off because these fans want to remember the last time they were in Quest Field to see their players for this 2005 season was to send them off to the Super Bowl in Detroit.
While the Hawks were hopping towards Motown, Jake Delhomme went downtown for a meaningless score.
Jake Delhomme looks left, throws right, got Drew Carter open. Carter leaps, makes the catch at the 4, and he's into the end zone untouched. Carter wins the jump ball. The Panthers score an offensive touchdown, their first of the day.
On the Panthers' next possession, Seattle's ball-hawking defense brought down the curtain on Carolina.
140 and counting. Delhomme is going to throw. He hits his receiver. That's Steve Smith, who makes a man miss. He goes up the ball. The Seahawks have it. The Seahawks recover another fumble by the Carolina Panthers.
It's recovered by Marcus Trufant. First down, Seahawks. Steven, I think you can kiss the baby.
I think the fat lady is singing, "We'll kiss the baby. We'll do whatever it takes."
Here we go. Here we go. We want the money. Money. Yeah, yeah, we want the money. The money. Yeah, yeah, we want the money. The money.
Unlike the Seahawks, the Panthers were singing the blues. Like the original, this version of Mr. Smith Goes to Washington was a tearjerker. With the competitive phase of the NFC Championship long since over, the only remaining suspense was the Gatorade dunk.
We are going to watch the bucket of Gatorade down on the table in front of us because the coach is going to get it, I promise you.
A little bit of rain in the forecast.
Mike Holmgren even had a game plan for that. When his players grabbed the Gatorade bucket, they found it was as empty as Carolina's Super Bowl dreams.
It will be a long flight home for the Carolina Panthers.
Now Matt Hasselbeck will take the knee a couple of times, and the party will really start. The flashbulbs,
that's it, Steve,
and the crowd say it all. We're going to Detroit to play in the Super Bowl against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Hey, we're going to the Super Bowl, man. Long season, we stay together. Hey, man, we're going to the Super Bowl. Great job, man. Hey, go get it, all right? Congratulations.
What a great game on a big stage today. The celebration for the Seahawks, 30 years in the making.
It was the greatest victory the Seahawks have ever had. After a lifetime of being drenched in mediocrity, Seattle soaked in the glory of its first conference championship.
That's the kind of rain we want. They say it rain in Seattle. It's rain in blue and green.
The battered Panthers left Quest Field black and blue. They had rolled into Seattle as the NFL's ultimate road warriors, but were wheeled out as road kill. Like all 9 teams before them in 2005, they proved no match for the 12th man. After finally cheering their team down the road to the Super Bowl, the NFL's loudest fans broke down in a trail of tears.
I've waited 30 years for this. It's worth the wait. I'm headed to Detroit City, honey.
Listen to the crowd at Quest Field. You have been magnificent today, 12th man.
They deserve it, Steve. They have been with this team all season long, and they are reveling in it right now.
They're all coming to Detroit with us. Everybody in the stadium's coming.
We're going to Detroit Rock City, and we're going to rock your world. Yeah!
In Detroit, Mike Holmgren will try to become the first coach to win a Super Bowl with 2 different teams. His quarterback, Matt Hasselbeck, will be out to prove he can execute a Gatorade dunk and is a worthy heir to Brett Favre. And Sean Alexander will play in the biggest game of his life after leading the Seahawks to the biggest win of theirs. On a crisp night in Seattle, the Seahawks finally made a name for themselves.
Sean Alexander continues to circle the stadium with the George Halas Trophy, signifying the best team in the National Football Conference.
The NFL's most anonymous team is now front page news. And on February 5th, they will try and bring pro football's crown jewel, the Vince Lombardi Trophy, home to the Emerald City.
If you're a Seahawks fan and you go to heaven, every Sunday will be like this. A lead so big, an opponent so overpowered that the competitive phase of the contest will be over by the 3rd period. So, the team that never wins the big one and rarely even plays in the big one finally won the big one. And as a reward, gets to go to the biggest game of all.
Hey, man, I got dinner reservations. Let's go.
I'm ready, baby.
It's not with any of you guys. Hey, it goes without saying, there aren't words to describe this other than in 2 weeks, you won't even believe it. You won't even believe it. Okay? Now, congratulations. So, give it. How about the defense?
Oh.
Can I just say one thing? I mean, we're all very excited, but I want to give 3 cheers for Mike, because nobody gets a clap for Mike, and he did a wonderful job calling games all year long.
Hip, hip! Hip, hip! Hooray! Hip, hip!
Hey, that's the way to be. That's the way to finish. Work as a team. Everybody, Detroit! Hey, let's get Detroit on 3. 1, 2, 3. Detroit!